Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to Fishing Canada Live. We're back.
Good day, eh? What's going on, buddy?
But you're almost like incognito in there with your black on black with the black background and everything.
Black on black. I hate the side. Okay, sorry. Be a little excited there. Don't talk rock and roll here.
How are you, buddy?
Good, man. How about you?
Good. Excited. I'm pumped.
Big night. Big night. Garmin, all the Garmin lovers. You got lots of announcements. This is a good one, bud. This is a dandy.
Thanks for everybody. Thanks for joining us. We've got, like Pete just said, some really exciting stuff. A lot of it you already know about. A couple of things we've kind of thrown in last minute to stir the pot a little bit. Before we get to all of that, I've got a couple of quick things I'd like to say. Last time we were with you, we had that wonderful announcement by Minister of Natural Resources, John Yakubowski, about the new Carp 3-rod regulations, and he said that it was due to my persistence in chasing him down to get it done. And I had notes that I wanted to speak about that during that episode, and I forgot completely, and I felt terrible, and I waited all this time to pull them back out. There was, prior to me even getting involved in that whole carp thing, there were a few other gentlemen that had already spent a couple of years working on it. So it took a little longer than we even thought. But I just want to throw this out to them and make sure they get their just recognition. First of all, Jim Grayston, who actually pioneered the whole 2 carp ruling thing way before any of us did.
He really pioneered carp fishing in the sense of being a non-angler, taking the government stance or taking whatever, somebody else, an outsider stance at getting this to where it is today. So Jim was huge in that, for sure.
Carpers across the province owe a big thanks to Jim Grayston, who then was a part of the Ontario Tourism Group, OTMP. In fact, he was a director with them, and he was instrumental not only in just the carp rolling, but I'll be very frank with you, he was instrumental in putting Ontario on the map as far as fishing is concerned. Yep. So I felt so bad about not mentioning that that night. So without him, we would not have had that great announcement that Minister Yakubowski gave us. And also Len Purdick, who is a fanatic when it comes to carp fishing, and he was always in the background in this whole process, along with an old friend of Pete and I, who I did not know had been working on this as well, and that's Tom Brook from Shimano Canada.
Brooko.
Yeah, Brooko was involved in this too. In fact, Brooko and Jim and Len were the first 3 that went to Peterborough at M&R's head office and suggested it. So I just wanted to thank
Tom and Len have again, Shimano and Len Purdick, they got together and brought carp angling to Ontario again, or to Canada, I guess you'd say again. Back in the day, because the very quick story, Ange and I first met Len Purdick at one of the sports shows. It was a sportsman show, I think, or something like that. And we walked up, and this is this carp expert standing there. There was a mounted carp there. It was a beautiful display and all that. And Ange and I had never fished for carp at all. And Brooko introduced us to Len. He says, "You got to meet this guy." And then we just had an instant friendship with Len from then on. The guy's just a genius at carp fishing. One thing about Len, he doesn't care about getting the pat in the back. Like right now, he's saying, "Oh, whatever, guys. There's no big deal," whatever like that. He's that type of guy, a very modest guy, but he has done a lot for carp fishing in Ontario, for sure.
Without question. I think everybody who's serious about carp fishing knows him and knows of him and know how much his involvement means to carpers all across the province. And a couple more thanks I want to throw out, but not about carp fishing, but about the great event that we're unleashing on the public here in Canada tomorrow at noon. We're going to talk about it at length here tonight. But I want to thank Joe Warmington for writing that wonderful piece in the Toronto Sun, in the Sun period, in Sun Media, their digital platform as well, about the Great Ontario Getaway Giveaway that we're so proud to be a part of. It's just a massive event that it will see us give away $100,000. I know it was $75,000 when we last spoke to you.
That's right, too. Yeah,
it's 100,000 now.
Yeah. That's just more trips for people to win. Is what that is.
And if I could just add, it's growing. So I would not be surprised that.
Don't make any promises. Don't make any promises.
I'm not. I'm just saying.
Watch where you're stepping.
I'm just saying that I would be a bit surprised to see it go even beyond the 100,000 that we've got now. And basically, what's going to happen? Well, we'll get into that later. I just wanted to thank Joe for writing this incredible
great piece
story.
Hey, who's those two guys down there? What is it? Who's that picture of?
That
No, a little lower. There's a couple of hints. Oh. Hello.
Those guys. How's that? Look at those guys. Hey, pretty good looking. And the guys behind them ain't bad either, you know? Anyways, thanks, Joe Warmington, for your help there. And also my good friend, longtime admirer. In fact, you might say I have, and I hate saying this, but you might say I've always had a man crush on this guy. Yeah. His name is John Oakley, and he is certainly one of Canada's premier talk show hosts.
Yep.
And of course, John and I have been in the same business for almost 30 years, and that is radio broadcasting. And I was an admirer of his, and he was an admirer of mine. And you know, we'd send little notes back and forth every once in a while.
That's man crushing for sure right there.
Anyways, I had the pleasure of being on his show yesterday at 4:30 or 4 o'clock. And he did an announcement about this event as well. And he interviewed Dave McLaughlin and Betty McGee, who were both instrumental in helping us put this event together. So I guess I wanted to say thank you to everybody who has made this thing possible. 6 months ago, when we first started talking about it, Pete, you and I, it was just sort of a what if.
Yeah, exactly.
And here we are making this huge announcement tonight. So thank you to everybody.
Yes, well said.
So before we go any further, we have a special guest we'd like to bring on, Peter.
Get the hell out of here. Yeah, apparently our good buddy from Radio World, Mr. Jack Summers, is going to join us for a few minutes, 5-10 minutes, whatever. And he's going to talk to us about some social media stuff, et cetera, and what's going on. So I think if Nick wants to bring him in, or Jordan, whoever. Hey,
holy mackerel, you're awfully bright.
Look at that guy.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Good. You, buddy?
I'm good. Good to be here tonight. And, you know, I know there's a big question mark why, and I just want to just have a little chat here with both of you, but maybe primarily direct things towards you, Angelo.
Should I be leaving the room, Jack?
No, not at all. I think that this is very appropriate, and I know that we talked about this. We've known each other a long time, and I appreciate you know, you letting me into your family and your friendship and all of those things. And we have spent a lot of time breaking bread and having belly laughs together and sharing a drink or two with all of us, Pete and the entire family. But this is a little different, and I just wanted to say something that needs to be said.
Oh, I like this. If Nick is around, maybe he could do his little duty too, if he could right now. Right, Jack? That's okay to get?
Yeah, well, that's fine, no problem. But just Angelo, I know you mentioned the Carp thing, and that was a really big deal 4 weeks ago when it was announced, and there's no doubt in my mind that it wasn't a single-handed effort. I really truly appreciate, you know, the efforts that Jim and Len and Brooko put into this, but you yourself do not like the limelight. If you if I would have talked to you about what I want to say tonight, I'm absolutely sure you would have poo-pooed it, put the kibosh on it, and stopped it. So that's why I kept things behind. But on behalf of the Fishing Canada fan club, anglers across Canada throughout the world, I wanted to recognize you for your tremendous effort in lobbying the Premier of Ontario, Doug Ford, the Minister of Natural Resources, you know, the Honourable John Yakabuska, your longtime friend, the Honourable Vic Fideli, the Minister of Heritage Sport Tourism, Lisa McLeod, and anybody else that would listen, because I know you didn't shut up about Carp and these two-line rules for a long time. This is a great victory for anglers, local and abroad, Ontario tourism operators, the entire fishing community, and the industry. if you think about how this is going to expand in the industry, it's fantastic.
I got to show this, man. This is insanity. Wow.
Although it was brief several weeks ago when both the ministers were on, I'm convinced that you weren't properly acknowledged. And I'm very proud of your accomplishments. So on behalf of the fan club, I wanted to present this certificate of recognition.
Woo!
Wow. Jack, that blows me away. Blows me away, buddy. Absolutely blows me away. That I don't know what to say. I'm speechless. Certainly not expected. And I'm very, very thankful.
Well, you're certainly welcome. And it was a collaboration of people that we spoke about, or I spoke to within the fan club, that really wanted to say thank you to you for your efforts. Also, you will find in that is a little keepsake, and in that is a lucky gold token. This was inspired by a Chinese proverb: "The carp has leaped over the dragon gate." This beautiful gold coin design represents triumph over adversity. According to legend, many carp swim upstream and attempt to jump the dragon gate, but few prevail. If a carp bravely perseveres and completes its final leap, it is rewarded for its hard work by being transformed into a powerful golden dragon. Like the triumphant dragon on this 99.99% pure gold coin from the Canadian Mints. Angelo, you represent the triumphant dragon who, against all odds, persevered on behalf of carp anglers, Ontario tourism operators, and the carp fishing community worldwide. Please accept this as a token of our appreciation.
Well, thank you, man. Thank you. You're going to have me in tears here in a minute. That is so wonderful. Very humbling. Certainly unexpected. I don't know whether it's deserved, but I will certainly accept it. And you put a little warmth in my heart tonight, my friend.
Well, thank you very much for all you do. You and your entire team, your whole branding and your whole product is about people and not about yourself. So this is one time I got to say thank you on behalf of everybody, the entire fan club and beyond. And I know for sure that you've already extended your thanks for your helpers there with the Jim Lennon Brooko. So feel free to share that any way that you want. Thanks very much. I'm going to let you guys carry on because it's a huge night here for everybody that's watching, and these contests are exciting.
My friend, all I can say, I love you, man.
Love you too, guys. Take care.
Well done, Jack. Oh, see you, buddy.
Jack Summers, Radio World. What can I tell you?
Yeah. So everybody that's watching here now, Ange knew something was up today. Okay, because Jack is always good at feeding out little things, just little feelers out there, and so he knew something was up. But Ange, I swear to God, was walking on eggshells for the last 2 days, saying, "What the hell's he got?" He was asking Nick, me, Jordan. He was asking everybody around here. He was asking Jack 5 times. He says, "Call Jack 3 times. What are you guys gonna?" He thought he was gonna get sabotaged this whole week. So we gotta see that.
You blame me?
Jack Summers, right?
I mean, for those of you who know Jack, and for those of you who've been around us long enough, you know that he's the greatest prankster on the planet. And,
oh yeah.
If Jack can pull a gag off, it'll get done, right? So I didn't know what to expect tonight, to be honest with you. But man, I'll tell you, I am so overwhelmed right now.
Yeah, I knew you didn't expect that, but I was laughing because I know you were thinking all the opposite and all that. So,
and I want to thank all the folks in the fan club that were a part of this. It's wow.
You can see it all. You'll see it on the side there. Everybody's congratulations, buddy. You're well deserved. And let me tell you, folks, I sit in this office with him every day, and he has been tirelessly working on this thing for years too. Like, I mean, along with the Graystons, the Lens, and the Brookos, and everybody else, Mr. Viola has pushed this probably harder than anybody. So just to let everybody know.
Well, on a positive note, well, that's all positive, but the good thing is we'll be able to enjoy just another wonderful piece of our tremendous fisheries resource that we have here in the province of Ontario by carp fishing now with 3 rods. And for those of you who have never done that before, it could be totally insane. So
just try it with 1 rod, you'll see how insane it can get, right?
Can you imagine, Pete? I mean, obviously, COVID has stopped us this year again, 2 years in a row, from hosting the Carp Cup, the Fishing Canada Carp Cup. Can you imagine next year when we have the Carp Cup back up and running, everybody there with 3 rods.
Six, because there's 2 guys, right?
2 guys, 6 rods.
6 sticks. They're gonna look like those crappie fishermen down on the stage. And those guys with the spider ring out the front of their boat. Brrr, they just think they go annihilation.
By the way, just while we still have Jack fresh on our minds, I also want to I should have thanked him while he was here, but I want to thank him for doing such a wonderful job moderating the fan club. I mean, it has been just a joy having there. So much so that I spoke to Jack earlier today. I phoned him about seeing if we could get him to give us a little bit of time and also act as a moderator on fishingcanada.com's new platform that we're going to talk about here in a few minutes. The new website, the new contest platform, the section on there where people will be able to interact live with each other, put up profiles and all that stuff. Well, Jack has graciously agreed to participate in that as well, moderating it as well. So I want to thank him for that. I should have done it while he was here, but he's done a great job.
Absolutely, looking forward to it. He's our copper. He's our internet copper. And by the way, Debbie, you're right, Debbie. That picture in the background behind Ange and I is Muncho Lake in BC. So just in case you got a good eye, yeah, obviously you've been through that Ursus Plain window or something like that before to see that site because you had to have a good eye just to pick that out. So.
By the way, speaking about things in the background, before we move too far away, I want to also talk about this ugly-looking piece of artwork here. I don't know whether we mentioned it. I think we mentioned it on a previous show, but yeah, it ended up in my little set here tonight. This is the very first piece of artwork that was submitted by the artist that we had commissioned to give us a Fishing Canada logo. And I think I mentioned it before. Her name was Sharon. I can't recall her last name, but this is what she came up with. She must have thought we were American or something because
red, white, blue.
You can clearly see that's the American flag. But we love the shape and the feel of it, so we took it and brought it to the level that it is today. But yeah, she was responsible. That was back in 1981, by the way, she did that first.
No kidding.
Before the show was even near going to air, it was the name that we had already selected. So, but
what was the first year you went to air? What year was it? Do you remember?
I'm going to say 85, but I could be wrong.
Wow.
I know we shot in 84 or maybe even 83.
Oh, can't. That would be...
Or 86. I think we went there in 86, to be honest with you. I think we went there in 86, but we were shooting for a couple of seasons without it going anywhere.
Yeah.
The only reason it went anywhere was because I told this story before too, and I'll throw it out there. It was purely by accident. What had happened was his name was Brent Levictoire. He was the kid who actually shot the very first Fishing Canada anything. It was him and I think maybe even Tom Brook out on Lake Scugog.
Yeah.
Doing a bass thing. And anyways, this kid, we weren't shooting it for TV. This kid shot it and he packaged it. And that was it. Never heard anything more of it. And then apparently about a year and a half later, he was playing in his weekly pickup hockey tournament. And one of the other kids that was on the bench with him, his dad worked for Global. And somehow that connection was made, and that tape, that VHS tape, got into Global, and that's how it all started. So
that's crazy.
From concept to delivery was probably about 3 years time, but that's how it happened.
Wow. You know what? There's a couple of comments. I like that logo. It's just it's so nostalgic that it's such a cool piece of art. Thank God you didn't throw it away. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's 2 things I've kept from the old days, and Pete, we got a lot of junk around this place, right? This is one that's will stay forever. And do you see that one up on the mantle there, right above my finger?
The trophy?
That's a spittoon. That's a spittoon.
What do you take a leak in that in the boat when you guys said you and Reno had to go for a leak?
That's a spittoon, and it was the Redmond 1985 Pearl Bass Tri-Lakes Championship.
Wow.
And Redmond Chewing Tobacco was the sponsor. Now, can you imagine that? We had a chewing tobacco company sponsoring a fishing event.
Wow. Wow. Oh, man. That is going back for sure.
And last but not least, my buddy behind me, if I didn't acknowledge him, he spent a lot of years. This bear, I've known this bear for almost 30 years. And he was originally the mascot for Barclays, the retail store that we had in this building years ago. And then I moved him from there into the radio booth for Outdoor Journal Radio for a number of years. And lo and behold, he ends up here tonight on the set too. With a nice.
You gotta have a name for him, don't you?
He was Barkley. I think we all called him Barkley at the time, or Bubba, or something. I can't remember now. But
okay.
Anyways,
Right
that's it. I'm done now. You got anything? You got news or anything going on?
News. The only thing I came up with this week, it hasn't hit fishingcanada.com, but it's kind of interesting. And I don't know, I saw it off of Dave Chong's Twitter account. It was about a big-mouth buffalo that was caught in the U.S. So a big-mouth buffalo, speaking of carp, it's a carp type of fish. I don't know if it's a carp or not, but it certainly is cynoprid, I would assume. But this fish, it was either caught in Minnesota or North Dakota. It was 112 years old.
What?
So they tested it with the ear, what do they call it? Or the scale patterns or the otolith or whatever it is in the ear. They tested this fish at over 112 years old. And it's been proven. So so it got me thinking. It's a pretty good story that'll be coming up, but it got me thinking about the fish that we catch and how old they are, right? So I looked it up. So bowfin, dogfish, right? Prehistoric, they've been around for 150 million years, right? How long do you think the average live in the wild, Ange?
A bowfin?
Yeah.
Well, you and I have fished for them. We've caught them. Well, I'm going to say they probably have a long life as well. I'm going to obviously. Yeah, but no, they probably don't. On second thought, 20 years?
10 to 12 years in the wild.
Yeah, see?
150 million year old, 30 years in captivity, 10 to 12 years in the wild. Now, something really interesting about this before we go on. The head, how hard-headed they are, how everything, there's the toughest fish going, right, between them and a gar. Their head has got 2 layers of skull. The skull is made of 28 fused bones together. The roof of the mouth is made of 3 bones. When they crush, like every time we catch one, the bait is annihilated. No matter what you catch it on, it is beat up, it's bent, it's broken, right? These things are just monsters. They're all bone inside, you know what I mean, on that hard exterior. But you'd think it'd be an old fish. But the long-nosed gar, for instance, I looked that up. I had to look at that. 15 to 20 years. That's it. I would have thought, and they've been around 100 million years. So I thought, wow, could be. So our lake trout that we're catching are older than these fish, because the lake trout we're catching are, some of them are 50, 60 years old.
Yeah, for sure.
The oldest fish
that
I found.
Can I take a guess?
Yeah, of course.
The oldest fish that we have in Canada?
Yeah.
I'm going to say is the white sturgeon.
Absolutely, without a doubt. The oldest recorded white sturgeon was 104 years old, and it weighed 1,799 pounds.
Wow.
What a pig.
I mean, some of those sturgeon that you and I have caught out in the Fraser River, those 7 to 9 footers, 10 footers.
Yeah.
Those things are 50 years old.
They got to be 50. Yeah, they have to be.
So, yeah.
So,
very cool.
Very neat. Just to kind of put it into context, you never think of it, and people wouldn't realize that a lake trout is actually older than a gar, let's say year per year, right? You got 15-year-old fish or 10-year-old fish. So, or they're, let's say 10-pound fish or whatever. So
Tim's surprised that he's not that old. By the way, there was a comment up there that I didn't answer. If you want to put it back up, Nick. Nick is on the board tonight, my grandson, Nick. So if he screws up, by all means, give it to him. What did you do before the show started is the question. First of all, I had the retail store, Barclays, the retail store for, I think 3 years, maybe 4 years prior to. Prior to that, we owned a company called Danco Electric, and Danco stood for my father. It was D-A-N-Co, and the D was for my dad, who his name was Dominic, and the A was for me, and the N was for brother Reno, whose full name is Nazareno. So we came up with this company called Danco. We were in the electrical fixture business, and bulbs and wiring and anything sort of industrial that had to do with electrical wholesale. And I did that for I think 5 years prior to opening. Actually, we opened the store, the retail store, Barclays, at the same time that we had Danco, and they kind of overlapped. And of course, throughout that whole thing, I was a fishaholic, and that was my biggest problem in life. That's why I never amounted to much. And fished a lot of tournaments, hung out.
Come on, you got to go before Danco. You got two more. You got two more sales companies sales items that you sold.
Well, the bulbs, Litco and Danco were all
before that.
Footwear, Shoe Villa.
There you go.
At the age of, I'm going to say 17, my brother and I opened up a footwear store called Shoe Villa. Prior to that, if you want to go way back, I was 14. I was hired by a company called Tom McCann Shoes, and I tricked them. See, back then, and I know my grandson's watching and listening, but he'll be surprised. But back in the good old days, we were very ambitious when it came to finding work. We would come up with creative ways of finding work at a very young age. So I went into this Tom McCann shoe store and lied my way through it. I was 14. I told them I was 16 and didn't have to show any proof. They just took my word for it. And by the time I was 16, I was managing the store. But I had a full beard and everything. I mean, you would have never known, right? Anyway.
And you do not sell Vespa scooters as well?
Vespa scooters in between. There was Vespa scooters at Danco.
You know more about you than you know about you.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. We were the Canadian, actually, we were the North American distributor for Vespa scooters for 2 years. So that was, man, I've done a lot of things when you think about it.
There you go, David.
David, thank you for the walk down memory lane, my friend. I appreciate it. And Peter, if anybody wants to know, as soon as you got out of reform school, at the age of 15,
they put me in prison. They put me into a prison after that.
And you went right to prison for a couple of years, and then he went on to become an electrician.
There you go.
Go ahead. Tell him the story.
Well, that's it. I got out of high school. I got my grade 12 because you needed that for a trade. And I would highly recommend any young lads out there get a trade. It's a good idea still, and tradesmen are at they're needed right now, big time. Let's just say that. And I just started an electrical apprentice at 18 years old, and I stayed with that for the longest time. Worked with Angelo part time, and then got laid off at one of my jobs. And they said, "Do you want a full time gig in the Fishing Canada Show?" I says, "Hello, why not?" So there you go. Mine's not as expansive as Angelo's, but
we've been together ever since, man. It's been great.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. I want to quickly, we're getting way behind as usual. What else is new? But, who cares? It's not like we got, barriers or time constraints. I do have to go home and watch the hockey game pretty soon, but that's okay. It's being recorded. I want to talk about that great little contest that the Fishing Canada team came up with recently, the captioning contest.
That was good.
Oh, my God. When was the last time you and I laughed so hard?
Oh, my God.
At something like that.
Good one, William. Look at that. Paid an electrician. Shocking. Like good one, buddy.
What does he mean by that?
That's hilarious. Yeah, that was a fun contest. And I don't know how many, I think Jordan or somebody told us how many entrants we had. It was hundreds upon 400, 300, 400, 500, something like that, entries for this caption contest. We didn't know how well it would, how well it would be received and all that, but it got received very well. And I will say there was a lot of consistent, captions. We had a lot to choose from, and hopefully nobody's offended that we didn't choose theirs because we had fun doing it. But there was a lot of them that were so similar. It's like, God, there's 15 of these. If you pick one of them, you're not, somebody else is going to get mad. It was just unreal how many, worked along this, some dead stuff. There was zombie pictures, right? There was a zombie picture of us in the foreground. So, but it was so much fun picking and choosing. And the 4 of the 5 finalists, Ange and I both had them down as our top 5. So that was a given. We thought for sure to be 10,
What we did, just so that you understand how weird that was, is that Pete and I were commissioned with picking our top 10 out of the whole bunch. And we were not together when we were doing it. So Pete was picking his top 10. I was picking my top 10. And then the deal was that we were going to cross-pollinate those 2 lists and see how many we had both picked. And consequently, those would end up as the finalists that you, the audience, ended up voting for. And like Pete just said, pretty much half of them, we both agreed were the funniest ones. And it's funny because the one that ended up winning, we both picked as number one as well. So we're thinking along the same lines, but it was absolutely hilarious. And of course, for those of you who don't know what that was, the winning entry was simply fish the nuke plant. They said it'll be fun. They said so,
that was
appropriate.
We both liked that one. Yeah, that was good. That's a good one. I mean, they're all good, but that was we both said, yeah, that's number one. We like that. Just it hit us both. We both laughed at it as soon as we heard it. You know what I mean? As soon as you read it, so laughed.
Honorable mention. And by the way, that gentleman's name was Mike. I don't have the notes in front of me. First name was Mike because I just signed his hat that he won, an autographed hat. Honorable mentions. The number 2 position was wrong type of crawlers, dude.
That's good too. I like that. It was close. Now there was a lot. Speaking of that, there was a lot of crawler ones, night crawler ones. There was all kinds of, there was a lot of that crawler, zombie talk. So we had to pick and choose between those ones. We had to take one of them because it's a perfect word for those guys is crawlers, right? So.
Then a little bit of an R-rated one. WTF did you eat last night?
That one was pretty easy to pick.
That one's come out of my mouth a lot through the last.
Whatever, stinky butt. Okay.
Then I think your seminar went a little long.
Shut the hell up, in other words. Oh, God.
And of course, this one here, it could have been number 1 too, as far as I'm concerned. And it simply says, "We're still fishing, right?"
Yeah, you know what? That's interesting to everybody else because Angie and I loved that one. We thought that was the best, and everybody else said, "What?" Everybody else here said, "Why do you like that one? That sucks." You know what I mean? We just thought it was great. It means you're hardcore. You're at it. Let's get at her. Who cares what's going on, right? There's a few more. Ange, I just want to say there was a few more there was a couple, like we always, people always ask us about the other entertainers, the other anglers, the other TV shows and all that. So there was a few with some other TV shows involved. So there's one that just says, I think I just saw Henry Nitalo. That was pretty good. And then, geez, Pete, the Azumi brothers haven't aged that well. So that was another one that was pretty good. But my favorite of all of them, and I read it 100 times, and I've laughed every time. It came from a lady named Arlene, and it simply says, "Did you shit your pants?" That's it. I love that one. I sat there and I laughed for 5 minutes when I read that first, and I had to let Arlene know that was my favorite, Arlene, but it was too R-rated. We couldn't do it for you. So. By
the way, Tanya says our winner announcement went a little too long, so we better get right there, Tanya. I think your contest winner announcements went a little long. There you go.
Tanya, what do you mean by that?
I don't know. I just thought I'd throw it out there.
We haven't announced, but that's what she's probably saying, right?
Oh, she wants to know whether she won the Garmin unit or not. That's what she wants.
Tanya.
She's not here for us. She's here for the stuff.
The stuff. Chris, yes, I did. I haven't hunted in a long time, but there's Jackson. I used to hunt ducks a lot. Like it was nuts in the fall, and then some upland game. My dad and I used to do a lot of upland stuff, but partridge mostly, like rough grouse, and a bit of small game. Never hunted big game. Never wanted to take the time to do it because I know it's a very involved sport. I know I'd get involved with it huge, so I thought, you know what, with ducks and fishing, that's enough. There was another one earlier. The guy, somebody asked about Napanee. Just to let you know that I lived in Napanee for many years, so I did. Grade 7 and 8 in Napanee, and then all my high school in Napanee. And then I moved after I finished high school into my electrical career. So there you go for that one too. So
Barry's watching from Turks and Caicos. How do you like that?
Oh my God! Well, I went bone fishing and barracuda fishing yesterday.
Hey Barry.
Oh
Great
my God!
job, man.
Beautiful, good job, buddy. Good for you.
I want to also let you know. First of all, there's another photo coming out very shortly. I think early next week for captioning. So keep up your work on that. It's fantastic.
It's fun.
We now are going to be looking forward to it every month.
Yeah.
But there's another contest coming out from our group, and I think it's coming out in about a month's time, and it'll run at the same time as the caption contest does. And it's going to be called the Backlash Hall of Shame. So what we're going to do is ask you to submit evidence, usually a photo or video, of your worst backlash ever. And we are going, Peter and I will select the winners in this case, I believe, or is it up to it might even be up to the audience now that I think of it. Anyways,
we could choose that, make that part of it if we wanted to. Sure.
Bottom line is every month we're going to pick the most notable backlash that deserves to be moved right into the Backlash Hall of Shame. So it needs to be inducted immediately. Soon as we pick it, it's going right in, along with a whole package of goodies and stuff. So,
that should be good. That should be good. And you know what? I don't buy professional recoils. Just to let everybody know too, I know everybody's thinking bait casters, but I've seen some nasty ass spinning messes too. So if you have a bad one with a spinning gear and you want to submit it, it might not, it'll get noticed. Trust me. So
the best, what the best part would be if somebody takes a shot of their buddy, their partner, their father, their son, their sister, their brother, their mother, whoever that you're fishing with. We all get them. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. But normally, you try and hide in the corners, and you don't want to give up, right? You don't want to. But it'd be great if somebody took a picture without them knowing, submitted it, and then it was selected, and then we make this big announcement and bring them on air with us. It'd be hilarious.
Video with audio. We want to hear all the swearing that goes on. We might have to bleep it, but we want to hear it for sure. There you go.
You're welcome, Chris. Hey, we're having as much fun doing this as you guys are. So it's not all because we're in love here. We do it because we're selfish, because this is a lot of fun for us too. So anyways, before we get on to, because we're getting very close here to the time. By the way, the reason we're not announcing the winner yet, because in the rules it states that the contest will officially close at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
So God forbid, should we draw it before 7 p.m., somebody's going to say, you said, and it was 6:59. So we have to wait till 7 p.m.
Can we get a shot of that, guys, of our prize? Is there? I know it's sitting there in the camera zone. I wonder if we could just show that. Hello.
Oh, look at that beauty.
That is a beauty.
It's waiting for a new home.
Oh, yeah. I just took one. Ange and I also have, the Fishing Canada has one of our own as well. And I took it out about a week and a half ago on the ice, just testing the different modes. And whoever wins this sucker is going to be in heaven. It is so nice. It's so put together well nowadays, like the package all together. It's a hefty beast. You're going to say, whoa, is that ever, it got some weight to it. But wow, thing performs like crazy. So
we would like to apologize in advance to whoever wins this unit. It will definitely alter your life. You will be spending a lot of time running this baby and watching it and looking at it, and then you'll find yourself saying, "Oh, okay, whoa, I got to get back to fishing here." It is so interesting. You'll be so intrigued by what it does.
Yeah,
that it'll change the way you fish. There's no question about it. And the nice part about it is the type of brand. There's a lot of information available on it. The folks at Radio World probably are the leading experts in Canada on this technology, and they're just no more than a phone call or a URL email away to help you with it.
By the way, very quickly, just to let you know, Radio World, I think it's, Jack might correct me here, but I think tonight their pricing is going to go up after tonight on the Garmin units. They have special pricing on Garmin units for sale at Radio World right now. And I think today is the last day. So after tonight, tomorrow, the prices will go up on it. And they have some whaling deals on the Garmin units there too, folks, just to let you know.
So for those of you who have not put your ballot in for today, you need to do it the next.
Richard, no, Ange is not doing this draw. Okay, smiley face. Pete is not. Richard, Pete is not either. We have just said we're not doing it. We're going to be part of it. We have the system all set up. We know exactly how it's going to work, but we are not going to do it tonight.
So I want to be perfectly clear on the screw up. It wasn't mine. I was not supposed to have anything to do with it to start with. It was Mr. Bowman who decided last minute, no, I don't want to do it. You do it. And that's when it all started. So, hey, I won't take any flack for that. All right? Just so you know. All right.
Jack did everything there. Sorry. That's okay.
I want to talk quickly about the poll that we had up on the last show, because Peter and I got into a little disagreement.
No, we ended up agreeing once Yakubuski came on and your nose went up his butt. Okay, then.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do.
Okay. Show that again. Sorry, guys. We were cutting you out there. Show the poll results. So this is the poll. Do you agree with the Zone 20 bass season changes, which is the extended season, which right now, Zone 20, the Lake Ontario and the Bay of Quinte, the bass season, largemouth and smallmouth, is actually open right now and will stay open until May 10th. It will close and then go back to the opening of largemouth. I think it's the third Saturday in June. And then don't quote me on this, but I think, and then 2 weeks later, the smallmouth opens. So they're extending the closed season on smallmouth during the spawn. But the season is now open for the first time ever in Southern Ontario. And just to let everybody know, over half of this province of Ontario has already had this. They got a year round. There's no closed season on it for bass. So 75 to 25, Ange brought it up the other day. He went and listened to the live cast from before. I even said I didn't think it'd be that high. I thought it'd be the other way, maybe so I'd be in a minority. But obviously 75% say, yeah, it's okay with the change. And 25% are saying no. 190 people said, no, sir, I don't like it. So I'm a bit surprised at that. You, Ange?
I'm shocked. I'm not surprised. I'm shocked. I thought my brethren had my back. I thought based on what I was seeing during the live broadcast that this was going to be an overwhelming landslide. Obviously, I was wrong. A lot of you want more. And so listen. I like fishing as much as the next guy. Anybody who doubts that doesn't know me. But I want to be responsible. There's a reason why we have such a great fishery in this country, in this province, in this area. It's because we have tremendous management tools in place. And one of those tools I believe that we have, that a lot of jurisdictions do not have, we have very tight scheduled seasons. And they don't fluctuate. They're in stone, and they're heavily enforced. And that is opening and closing seasons. And in most cases, they're put in place for a reason. So here's my thinking on this. Bass fishing is quickly becoming the number one sport fish in this province. And I don't care what anybody says and argues that, no, it's walleye, no, it's trout, no, it's this, no, it's that. Bass fishing is quickly catching on. I think carp fishing is going to surprise people in the next 4 or 5 years. But right now, bass is growing at an unbelievable pace. So, and especially in some bodies of water, especially here in Southern Ontario. So I just believe that we are so blessed with this incredible smallmouth and largemouth bass fishery that we should not look a gift horse in the mouth. I, for one, see absolutely nothing wrong with giving that species a break during the off season. I just don't need to go bug them because I know how wonderful it's going to be come opening season. So that was and is and will always be my take on this, regardless of how this moves forward. I know that most of you are well-intentioned. I know of the 500 and change that voted against me. I know you are well-intentioned and you believe that everybody is a true sportsman, such as yourself, sportswoman, sportsman, sportsperson, such as yourself. But unfortunately, we don't live in the perfect world. And I just see this, I just don't see anything positive from it. I really and truly don't. So. Mr. Bowman, my colleague, will argue that, but what can I tell you? I don't think it's right. I think, and I talked about this topic on the radio show for years before it was even brought up, because my good friend and co-host on Outdoor Journal Radio, Gord Pizer, a former biologist with M&R. Well, him and I conferred on this numerous times because the argument was always, well, in Florida, they don't have an open and closed season. And look at the wonderful bass fishing they have now. First of all, Florida has 12 months of growing season for these fish, not 3 months like we have here. They have a tremendous fishery down there. Absolutely they do. And they are open year round. I agree with you 100%. But it's totally different. It's comparing apples to cucumbers. You can't do that. And so I just don't. That's it. Just one. Sorry, I got carried away again.
You do not need to apologize. You have an opinion. You are allowed your opinion, and you said your opinion.
All right. Okay, before we get to the contest,
Got both your shirts. I love it.
can we talk about the Great Ontario Getaway Giveaway for a moment, if we can?
Let's do this. Yes,
It's the biggest contest of its kind ever in the history of the fishing community in this country. We look high and low, and there's never been anything even remotely close to this. So let's talk about it for a couple of minutes before we give away that wonderful Garmin prize, by the way.
Indeed.
Would you like to start us off, Mr. Bowman?
Well, I would say it may not just be the biggest in Canada. This thing might be the biggest in North America, or bigger for a contest like this, an internet contest. You know what I mean? FishingCanada.com is the host of it. So at $100,000 worth of prizes that will be guaranteed to be given away. You know what I mean? This is huge. This is absolutely massive. You know what I mean? So
before we get into the rules and regulations, I just want to acknowledge some folks. Last time I didn't do it, so now I'm going to acknowledge some people who were instrumental in putting this contest together with us. First and foremost, David McLaughlin from DNO, Destination North Ontario. He's also the owner of the 46-year-old Lodge 88. So David sort of wears both hats. He owns the lodge, but he also is the executive director for Destination North Ontario. Now DNO basically looks after most of the north and northwestern part of the province in terms of marketing their fishing. And David and I have been talking about this for, like I said, 6-7 months. And the problem has always been, how do we really address the problem? And the problem is that we have 1,200 plus operators in this part of the world. These are licensed operators of lodges, resorts, outfitting camps, outpost camps, air bases, amphibious air bases, all that stuff. And the problem was, it's great. We can have a contest. We can do a marketing campaign. We can do all this wonderful stuff, but we've got to come up with a way of putting some money, because what they need is some money. How do we put money back into the lodge owner's pocket? Because if you give stuff away, generally it means that nobody makes any money. Yes, it's great because the exposure and the branding and the experience and the word of mouth and all that stuff. Absolutely, 100%. But how can we also get a little bit of coin into the operator's cash register? So we came up with this wonderful idea between David McLaughlin, Peter, myself, Lori from Noto, who is a very important element here, Heather and Rob from Algoma region, Jerry Cario from Sunset Country, Sarah Decker from DNO, Daniel Bebeacqua from Superior Country. So a lot of people. Carol Caputo from Destination Ontario, the old OTMP. Not that she's old, but the OTMP.
Oh, good one. Good save.
I do have to say that because you know she's going to catch me on that one. So she was instrumental in doing that.
And don't forget Teddy Putnam. Ted has been helping us on this too. Ted's part of the, Up in the Sunset. So he's even helped us on this. So.
Okay.
What the hell's that on there?
I've got somebody in here thinking that, when you do a live thing, it's just okay to just come in and talk to me while I'm on. So what do we got, Nick?
Someone super chatted you. They donated $3.
So the Fishing Magician donated $2.99 on our behalf.
Yes. Because giveaways aren't cheap.
Wow.
Thank you, Fishing Magician.
Wow. Fishing.
So now we got $100,002.99. Great.
Thank you. And thank you for walking in, because that was, I didn't notice it. I was just.
I know you don't know.
You know what? I thought somebody was selling something on there. I thought, how the hell did they get on there? Honest to God, I didn't even know.
Thank you, Dick. I also want to acknowledge some of our own people here. We often don't give them enough credit for what we do, what Peter and I do, because without them, we wouldn't even be doing this. And that is Jordan and now Nick, that are instrumental in putting these events on.
Those boys tirelessly for sure. So
there you go. Those are the people responsible for what we're about to tell you. And what we're about to tell you is that starting tomorrow, April 1st, it's not an April Fool's joke, at noon, the brand new fishingcanada.com website, which they've been busily, our developers have been working on, will be launched at the same time to coincide with the new platform that will host the Great Ontario Getaway Giveaway Contest, all happening at noon. And all you need to do to be a contestant or a voter is go to fishingcanada.com, where the Garmin button is now. It'll be replaced at noon tomorrow with the new identification. You click onto it. You will open an account, because this is not just your ordinary contest. There is so much social, we're building a community within the site. And so we need everybody to get active and involved. The idea here is that you will all be talking to each other. The idea here is we're all going to be comparing notes, not just users of our resource, but also the lodge operators, the lodge owners, the pilots, everybody who works in the industry. They'll all have accounts there, and people are going to be interacting every moment of every day. You want a question answered on fishing in Northern Ontario? That's the place you want to be. Yeah. But more importantly, once you open your account, you'll be instructed to put up either a still picture, an image, or preferably a video of how you've been coping with the pandemic, how you've used the outdoors to help you get through this COVID-19 pandemic that we're on. And that can be as simple as, walking the dog. It's an outdoor activity. Or you went mountain climbing, that extreme. Obviously, if it's fishing related, you might get more attention, right, Peter? Like, for example, you can go with Peter and fish bass out of season and say that's how you're coping with COVID, right?
It is in season, my friend. It is in season. You said out of season. You made a presumptuous bad move right there. You just lost 4 points. Okay, go ahead. Carry on. One thing about these, I want to reiterate on this contest, folks. When you're listening here, read the rules. This is one you need to read the rules at least once. You know what I mean? To get yourself, because you have to click on. You read the rules anyways. I mean, that always happens in contests, but. This is going to be from your lodge trip that you will win. Will be every trip involved. There's going to be different areas, but they're all going to be from a certain designated hub. So you're not going to win the trip from your house. You're not going to win the trip from Alberta all the way to Toronto and then all the way to the north and then all the lodge. No. You're going to go to the Sault Ste. Marie if that's the hub. And then from the hub, they get you to the lodge, be it a train, be it a plane, be it an automobile, whatever it takes, like that. So it's going to be from a hub. So it's not, there is going to be that to deal with. It's not going to be a bad thing. It's a good thing. It's all we could do to keep the money to go to the lodge, because 100% of this money are going to the lodges, right?
And it's not necessarily just the lodge. We mentioned before float plane operators and amphibious plane bases. They are all hurting because
it's all part of the package.
So the reason that we're paying for everything that will put money into those people's bank accounts.
Yeah.
We're not interested in putting money into, and don't take this the wrong way, but that's not, our purpose is not to try and help finance mainstream operations. We're here, this contest is about helping people in the north. We're making it very plain and simple. So anybody that has a business that is involved in northern tourism, we've included them in this contest. So that means, as Pete said, you might have to get yourself to Sault Ste. Marie, for example, if that's a base that is being used for that particular trip that you win, or if it's a drive to, you can drive all the way through. I mean, it's going to be basically up to you. But the all expense starts from the predetermined hub to that particular outfitter. Okay.
That's a good point. That drive to is a good point, Ants, because you will drive right to the lodge. Your trip starts from there. You pay for your gas to get to the lodge, but that's it. Once you close the doors, hey, everybody, I'm here. It's on, everybody. Let's go. And
so the way that you're going to that it's going to be determined as to what your destination is very simple. We will have hundreds of lodge operators in a drum. And at the end of each segment, which is at the end of each of the 5 months, the contest will run for 5 months from April, tomorrow, right through to the end of August. So each of the 5 month segments, at the end of the month, we will be looking at the top 5 vote getters. This is not, you're going to earn this. Whoever wins these trips have worked hard and they've earned them. And I'll tell you why here in a minute. So we're going to take those top 5. And then we are going to live here on the show. We're going to match you up with a randomly drawn outfitter. So once you've won, we'll draw out of the virtual drum your connection. And you won't know until that draw is made. And then we'll read on the air. You'll find out the same time we will what and where your trip is going to be. So it's going to be exciting. It's going to be, and let me tell you, Pete and I have had the privilege of seeing some of the entries because the operator makes up his own package. And the only thing we ask these operators is you need to put together your absolute dream trip of a lifetime, your top deal. Whatever that's going to be, you need to put it together as a prize. And we will pay you full value for it. So these guys did not scrimp and save. Trust me. Some of these trips, Peter and I were drooling over.
These are nice packages, folks. These are whoever wins these things, and there's going to be a lot of winners. You're going to have some really nice trips in there.
I want to know, how come they didn't roll out the red carpet when we went to these places? All of a sudden, they're all 5-star now.
No kidding, eh?
Anyway, so the idea of this event is to put your best foot forward, best image, best story, because you need to give us a story in 200 characters or less, or 200 words or less, one of the two. Anyways, you'll see it. We have all the rules and regulations going up tomorrow on the site. But you need to write a very compelling story on how you're coping with this pandemic. And it's not to convince us, but it's to convince the masses, because you are going to be in control of your own destiny. You're going to be garnering votes. You want people to come and vote for you. So first of all, you need to reach out to people. There will be hundreds of thousands of people that are already on the site that you want them to look at your story and your image. You want them to be drawn to you immediately and read your story and say, I like that. And a story doesn't have to be a sad story like the one I read on air last time we were on about the 2 gentlemen who had been going fishing together for years, and one recently had a brain problem. And anyway, they don't have to be about that. That's not necessarily the winners. So you want to attract people to vote. You want people to vote for you because those people have a very valuable commodity. They have 5 votes every day that they can cast. And you want to make sure that you get one of those 5 from as many as you can every day, including, by the way, your own circle, your own social community. The people that win these trips are going to be the ones that connect with their own group and not rely on some stranger buying into your story. That's the way I do it. I'll tell you right now. I would not leave it up to chance. I would go out and I would drum up my own votes. And that's basically it. So at the end of each month, we'll take those top 5. The next month, we're going to start from 0. So all those votes that you got but you didn't win with, they're not going to waste, but that next month's contest is going to start at 0. Everybody is going to be set at 0. So we all have an equal chance for the next month. However, all of those votes that you received, they're going to be transformed into ballots. The reason being is that when this is all over, we're going to take all of the non-winners, because you can only win this once, You can win 3 different ways, but you can only win it once. So then we're going to take all the non-voters and give you a chance to win because we're going to have a random draw from all of the votes that have turned into ballots. Now, for you voters, you're saying, well, what's in it for me? Well, I'll tell you what's in it for you. At the end of the event, we're going to have a voters draw with all of the ballots, because those ballots used to be votes. We're going to convert them into ballots. That means that the more votes, the more voting you've done during the event, that's for the entire 5 months, the greater your odds, the greater your chances of being drawn for one of the many trips that we're going to give away at the end as a random draw for 2. And it'll be the same thing. We'll be drawing, and then that winner will be matched with a lodge. And it's all going to be done here live. God help us all with the calamity that we usually have for live events, but
we should get good by the end of that one, shouldn't we? Yeah, lots of practice. Chris is right. Chris is absolutely right. 7 p.m. I think everybody's been waiting for this great Garmin giveaway. Show that unit again, Nick or Jordan, who's on there, for that lovely prize package. I'll go over that again very, very, very quickly. It's a Garmin Panoptix Livescope ice kit. So what's in this kit is a 9-inch UHD screen, ultra high definition head unit screen. It's got the ice fishing pole that you put together and down in the hole, and it rotates and rotates for your live scope. It's got the live scope transducer. That's the only transducer that's with this package, but that doesn't mean that it can't be used for something else. You can buy yourself a GT52, GT54, GT56, add that on with a suction cup, and now you've got a great little portable unit that you can use all year long, along with live scope, or you can just run live scope if you want. It's got a nice battery in there, a nice 12-volt battery in the pack, and it's got the live scope the brains of the live scope unit mounted right in there. So it's not a very big package. It's heavy. It's hefty. I'm going to say that, but it's not a big package. And this thing is absolutely dynamite. I mean, we run these on our boat, on our Prince Craft. We run that same unit, just a bigger screen. It's the exact same unit and the exact same live scope transducer. This is the state-of-the-art technology. Garmin has come up with this live forward viewing. They've come up with it, and they still have perfected it better than anybody else. And it's just it's the bomb. So this prize, whoever gets it is going to be in for a fishing future of a lifetime for sure.
Some interesting comments about the contest coming up, and Calvin. By the way, Calvin, nice to see you with us again. He's got it right. You know, there's going to be a lot of political posturing, he says, going on. Keep in mind, think of the game that this is going to put out. I mean, you've got 5 votes every day as a contestant in the contest with your own picture, your own story. You want to attract votes, but you also have 5 votes to give away every day, right? So there's going to be a lot of political posturing. He's absolutely right. It's going to be great, man. Calvin is the bomb, says Chris. All right, good luck.
Let's get this going. I want to see who wins this beauty machine.
All right, Nicholas, make the draw, please.
Let her howl, Thurston. Oh, here we go.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
Good luck, everyone. Look at this.
4. Who's going to win it? Who thinks they're going to win it? 2, 1.
Better work. Please work. Come on.
Jason
C. So what happens now, Jason? If there's more than one Jason C out there right now, you're gonna have to hang on a second because the boys are now going to calculate. They're going to get the real information. This is the way this machine works. This viral sweep. The boys are going to get the full name and where they're from. So Jason C, if you're on the board with us.
We crashed.
Angelo.
There we go. I'm back.
Yeah, look at that. So, another screw up. What is that? Look, at least Jason's name. I just Pete has left the building. You're right, Josh. I'm back.
Oh, that's
I was going to say Jason C. If Jason C is there anywhere until we get the information, if there's a Jason C watching right now.
Well, other than the fact that, you know, we don't want to get the wrong Jason C. So let's wait.
A Jason C. If you're there, we can hope it's him.
Let's wait and see what happens here in a couple of minutes, and we'll make sure that we've got. We'll give you the whereabouts.
Here it is, Jason Cole from Sudbury, Ontario.
Yeah, baby.
Woo! Beautiful. That I guarantee you, Jason will be using that ice bundle. Up in Sudbury, oh my, those boys, they like their ice fishing up there. That is fantastic. That is
Jason, exciting.
That is so cool. That is so cool. Congratulations, Jason.
You know what? Congratulations to all of you for being a part of this this event. It's a lot of fun and a great diversion at a time when a lot of us are confused, a lot of us are frustrated, a lot of us are upset. A lot of us have got a lot of emotions right now that we're dealing with. And this is just a small little way that we can all sort of bury them for at least a short period of time. And,
yeah. You know what I really like here, Angelo? You look at the on the side there. Everybody's congratulating Jason. There's not, they don't see I'm pissed off because I didn't win or anything.
Well, you know why? Because they know that they've got a chance starting tomorrow to win something fantastic. Oh, and by the way, here's a little by the way. I just wanted to throw this in. I had a wonderful chat with the folks from Princecraft a couple of days ago. And I just want to announce that we will be giving away a couple of more boat motor trailer combos.
No kidding.
Yeah.
You didn't even tell me that.
I know. I didn't. I didn't want to,
Jordan or Nick, can either of you guys hear me? If you can, how many ballots were in this? I think the guys were asking, or how many did Jason have? I'm not sure. I'd like to. Somebody asked the question. So, is there a number of ballots that Jason had? We'll say. I don't know if we give that information, or how many ballots in total were in this contest.
By the way, while they're doing that, I want to address one of the comments that was made here because I think it's important that we do. And I can't see it now. I don't know who wrote it, but somebody said, "Hey, they ought to change your name to the Fishing Ontario Show."
Yeah.
Well, if you're referring to the current season that's on television right now, being Ontario only, it's very simple. We made a conscious decision not to expose our team last year. And so it was a group decision. We decided that we would not be traveling, period. And so we did. And so the episodes that you're watching are a direct reflection on that. As far as saying the Fishing Canada Show are nothing, is nothing but a bunch of homies, I have to disagree with you because I don't think there is a Canadian fishing show that has traveled as much as the Fishing Canada group has over the last 38 years from coast to coast. So I hate to disagree with you, but I think you're totally off with that comment. And that's it.
Here. Okay. Back to the Garmin draw. So Jason, okay, I'll go with the total first. The total number of ballots in this Garmin draw, get this, 1,564,336 total ballots. 1,564,336. Holy crap, that's a lot of ballots.
Wow.
There's a lot of people wanting a Garmin unit for sure. And Jason, okay, this tells you how persistence and perseverance works many times. He had 643 ballots in.
Didn't our winner of the Princecraft boat motor trailer, didn't she have 600 and change too?
I can't remember, Ange, what she had. I know.
I think she did.
I can't remember the number, but that's persistence, right? That's Jason worked for that Garmin unit. He got himself a $4,000 beautiful ice package now. You know what I mean? Like that's good work, Jason. Well, that's awesome.
People get what you get what you put into things, right? I'm telling you, I'm probably one of the oldest ones here in this program right now, and I can tell you from personal experience that every time I try and take a shortcut, every time I try and cheat, I don't get much, right?
Scott says all those ballots, I have a better shot at getting pregnant. That's from Scott. Oh God, that's funny.
That's fantastic. Congratulations to Jason Cole from Sudbury. We'll be reaching out to you. Obviously, you're not with us tonight on live, and that was not a prerequisite, nor will it be in any of the future contests, unless we have something that we're going to give away live on the air, in which case we'll announce it, and it'll only be available for those people. But this was not the case, and that's exciting, man. It's exciting.
That is awesome. What's that? Oh, we're trying to get them on the stream right now. Okay, sorry. They're trying to call them right now, so hopefully we can get them on here. Just to let everybody know, I don't know who's ever fished in the Sudbury area, but my mother's whole family was from Sudbury. My mom lived in Sudbury; she was a nurse up there for the longest time. So part of our summer holidays, we're always fishing up in the Sudbury area. And then basically that's where I learned to fish. I mean, in that, and all those little lakes that are around, we never fished any of the big lakes or right in the lakes in the city, but there's all kinds of lakes, typical of Northern Ontario, Northern Canada. Basically, you just go a little bit north and there's just all these little potholes, lakes, rivers, and streams that are loaded with fish. So I have a lot of great fishing experiences, memories, history from the Sudbury area. It was just, it's where I learned to bass fish. You know what I mean? The walleye, the blue pickerel, whatever you call it, man. So that's the only place I think I've ever caught the blue walleye is in that area. So it's a great fishing community, geographically phenomenal area. What are you laughing at?
JD Hogg says, yeah, but only one out of the 1.5 million is all it took to win. Good point. Hey, by the way, Pete, this is for you and anybody else who wants to listen. Peter and I were discussing a particular lake called Harwood Lake. Horwood Lake, sorry, a couple of days ago because something had come up, and so neither one of us could kind of get the answers that we needed. So I had some intel going, and I got a good friend of mine who fishes that lake on a regular basis out of Timmins.
Oh yeah,
and guess where we're going to go this year?
Oh yeah, it's a good one.
He says he regularly gets between 7 and 8 to 9 pounders. And he says at least one double-digit fish is caught every trip into it.
Holy crap.
His personal best, 14.9.
Okay, sign me up.
And you know what the best part is? He told me, I'm probably not supposed to be telling this but there's nobody watching this anyway. So he probably will be pissed at me, but you know what they're fishing? Vertical granite walls that drop into 40 feet of water. Do you remember the pattern we used on for bass on Hasty Lake?
Mm-hmm.
You know that granite wall that we fished?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Same pattern for walleye, and the way he was describing it to me, the granite wall have got all those those crevices and little caves and nooks and crannies, and the fish are going in and out of them, picking off food.
Wow!
And so when
Very interesting.
Yeah, they drop their jigs down those granite walls. Boom. Big.
Yeah, I thought you were going to be saying like trolling open water patterns or something, something really.
No. And they also use a lot of float jigging there.
Yeah.
For the reason, because the fish aren't always, at any particular. So they'll use a slip float.
Yeah, I love that. That's fun. That's a fun for catching fish, man.
So we have to look into that because it sounded fantastic. So.
Austin, 1,500,000 other people now.
That's fine. I love sharing, man.
For sure.
I know people. There's a lot of people in the industry that wish I would go away and just, not say things back.
Why do you have to say that? Why do you have to say that?
Because I know there are. It's okay. That's all right. Doesn't bother me. I'm good.
We're going fishing for walleye.
Pickerel, baby.
Pickerel up in Horwood Lake. Woo! The boys have not given me any information if we got them on the line yet, Jason, or not. But I'm sure they're working feverishly. But we don't want to keep everybody here too long.
I think it's been long enough.
Yeah.
And not only that, but I got a Leafs game to go watch. So.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
You know it.
No, you didn't.
So Mike has been to Horwood Lake there. Yeah, there's some.
All right. So congratulations. Jason Cole from Sudbury will be getting a hold of you, and you're going to your fishing life will change drastically. And let us know about it, by the way. when you start catching fish with Panoptix. It'll blow your mind.
You're gonna love it. You're gonna watch the fish eat. You're gonna watch them eat your jig. Is it anything better than that? Oh, they're gonna come over and eat your jig. Boop. Remember?
Apparently, we have them coming on with us. Apparently, I've just been, once again, somebody just came into my environment and said, hold it, don't go away. We got something for you. So just want to remind folks that tomorrow at 1 o'clock or at noon will be your first opportunity to get into the Great Ontario Getaway Giveaway Contest and start garnering your boats ASAP. And for those of you who just want to go there to vote, which is fine too, although for license,
you still have a chance to win too, right? You still have a chance to win.
Oh yeah, they stand a chance to win, but
vote.
Why not do both?
Yeah,
Why not set up your account?
And by the way, everybody, just to let you know, we, as Ann said earlier, we are working on revising our website to make it a little more user friendly. So people that have been complaining about the site, etc., we have a new team on there that are working at building a better site for us too. So hopefully that'll show up tomorrow too. They seem like a pretty competent team, so they're doing the contest and they're making our site a little easier to run through.
And the scary part is that it's all launching tomorrow at noon, supposedly all at the same time. So it is a little frightening, but
bear with us if there's a hiccup or two. Just make sure we will have this thing running up. Don't worry. It's just a matter of we got to try things out tomorrow at noon, and then hopefully everything works right off the hop. But you never know.
I'm running out of. There he is,
Jason.
Hey guys.
How's it going?
I'm having a good time. I'm underground.
Oh, are you?
Oh, you're in the mining industry.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Congratulations, buddy.
He's having a hard time. Probably if he's underground.
Can you hear me at all? I can't hear anybody.
Okay. Congratulations on your victory. You are now the proud owner of a beautiful Panoptix Garmin unit that's going to blow your mind, man. It's going to blow your mind.
Obviously he can't hear us, so that's cool. That is so
cool. All right, let's cut him loose. He's obviously at work. He's a miner up in Sudbury.
Yeah.
Fantastic, buddy. We'll talk to you soon. You're underground, yeah.
Okay. That's great that he even got a hold of us. Okay, guys. Okay, Nick. Perfect.
Fantastic.
That's even cool. Just seeing him. He's got work. I bet you he is so happy right now, eh? He's at work in that mine right now. He's putting in a 12-hour, 14-hour shift, and then he says, "Hey, guess what? You just won a Garmin Panoptix Livescope ice fishing package." That is so cool.
I have people who regularly in my circles who regularly ask me, "Why do you and Pete do this stuff? What motivates you to do this stuff?" That's what motivates us right there. What just happened right now is why we do this. Yeah. I mean, can it get any better than that? I don't think so.
That's very cool. That's very cool.
Anyways, congratulations to all of you that participated, and I'll congratulate all of you for future wins that you're going to have on fishingcanada.com because it's
lots coming up. Lots coming up.
Don't forget, tomorrow at noon, we start all over again. Be sure you're there, and we'll talk to you very soon. I'm not sure when the next broadcast is. We'll fill you in. Hopefully within the next 2 weeks, we'll be back with you live. All right. In the meantime, enjoy. Go Leafs, go. No, I don't know who's playing in that tonight, as people have been asking me. But we'll see. Take care, folks.
See you, buddy.